understand. Why do women cover up? Why? Because Allah said so. Why do you fast the month of Ramadan? No, because some scientists said that if you fast, it does this amazing thing to your body. And I'm sure there's a lot of amazing benefits through fasting. There's no deny, I'm sure there is. But we do what we do because Allah said so. Full stop. Full stop. Don't fall all over yourself trying to convince and come up with this amazing theory. You and I as Muslims, we do what we do because Allah said so, and we don't do what we don't do because Allah Azza wa Jal said so. He knows what I don't know. And my job as a Muslim, someone that has submitted completely to Allah, is to follow and to obey. And if I follow and I obey, whether people like it or not, you will find happiness and success in this world and in the hereafter. And you know what I find amazing, my brothers? You know what I find amazing? Is sometimes when you say this to people, nah, brother, not me. I have to know. Again, this is a door of shaitan. That look, brother, I have to know. Habibi, anta, wallah, please, Allah da'alak, anta ya muhandis, sit down before you hurt yourself. When you accepted Allah in the beginning, you accepted Him to be the all-knowing, true or not? The all-seeing, the all-wise, the all-powerful. So when this Allah sends me something, He says to me, don't do it. I don't need to investigate after. You can, that's fine. There's no problem in you finding out the wisdom behind things. That's fine. But to question Allah, why did Allah, why? Why is Allah doing this? Why did Allah make this halal? Why did Allah make this haram? Habibi, anta, you and I, what position are you in to do that? What position are you in to do that? What position are we in? And this same, and again, this is what I find interesting. This same brother, every single one of us, we submit to anything and everything else, except when it comes to the things I should be submitting to with my eyes closed. I'll give you an example. Wallahi, most of us, so that I don't fall in trouble, most of us here now, yeah, when you go to the doctor, does anyone question the doctor? Do you? You don't? Generally speaking, when you and I go to the doctor, you know and I know, hey, where he's from, where he's been, you have no idea. Wallahi, you got no clue. You go to the doctor, but I don't know, I walked in, the guy's wearing a suit and a tie, he's sitting behind the table, and there was a certificate on the wall, bro. What else do you want from me? What else do you want, brother? I walked in, he was in a suit and a tie, he was sitting on a nice desk, he had a nice pen, and there's a certificate. Where the certificate is from, who signed it, does that university actually exist? You got no idea, nor did you check it, nor did you do your background checks. How come you don't apply your logic here? Why do we pick and choose? Why is it when he came to my health, I went to the doctor, I sat down in front of him, I told him what was wrong with me, and then he scribbled something on a piece of paper. Have you ever seen a doctor's writing? Honestly, wallahi, have you ever seen it? For the life of me, you know, had there not been printed writing on, you would know what's the bottom or what's the top. You got no idea. It's a scribble. And he prescribes something to you, you have no idea what he's talking about. He's explaining it, but you're like, yeah. And you're doing whatever, you're doing your absolute best to not look like a fool in front of him. But you got no idea what he's on about, bro. And he's trying to tell you, and he's trying to, then he writes a prescription, you take that prescription, and then as you're leaving and you're going to the pharmacy, wallahi, you're looking at this paper because you got no idea. But you're all right with it. You're all right with it. You're all right with it. The guy's a doctor. Allah, you should have seen his tie. But he had cufflinks on. Not some chat button. He had cufflinks on. So you know the guy's got money. Then you take your prescription. As you're walking to the chemist, you're looking at the prescription and you're thinking, bro, what the hell's going on here, man? Then you walk into the pharmacy. Wallah, and the only guy that's better than the doctor for me is the pharmacist. Because you know and I know, the only thing that convinces you he's a pharmacist is what? Is the white shirt. If the guy serving you isn't wearing one, tell him, brother, please, can you call the guy in the back? Then he comes, he looks at that piece of paper that you've been looking at for half an hour, you got no idea what's going on. He looks at it for barely a moment. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah, based on what, Habibi? It was a scribble. Ah, yeah, to what? He goes, he gives you a drug, a drug. And he tells you, yeah, make sure you take this 3 times a day after a meal, and you take it, and you got no idea. You got no idea. None of us ever looked at the back of the packet and said, yeah, but why does it have 0.2 grams of oxamalactose? I don't know what those words are, cuz. Well, I got no idea. You don't question. And you take it 3 times a day after your meals. Why? Because the doctor said so. The doctor knows what I don't know. And then if I want to get better, then you need to follow the doctor's orders. Throughout the whole process, you didn't ask a single question. You didn't raise a single eyebrow. From one guy to another, you're putting a foreign object, a drug, down your throat, followed by water, with yaqeen and conviction that this is good for me. But every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to question Allah as to why He did and why He didn't. Yallah, come on, all of us now. Every person has an opinion, and every person wants to question Allah as to why He did and why He didn't. But why is this like that for, brother? Convince me. Convince me, brother. Your argument isn't too convincing. Really? Really? You can't sort your own problems out. If I was to tell you pick a number between 1 and 10, you wouldn't even know from which part of the brain that came from. But you have the audacity to question Allah Azza wa Jal as to why He did and why He didn't. And worse still, you have the audacity of going around promoting that you're a Muslim. Habibi, I don't know what Islam you're talking about. Because going back to the beginning of my talk, that's not Islam. Islam is complete and full submission to Allah. Complete. Allah's not interested in your thoughts and my thoughts. Allah's not interested in your feelings and my feelings. Allah's not interested in the opinion and the flow of what's out on the street, public perception. Habibi, leave that to democracy. That's not to Islam. The deen of Allah is complete. It's not open for negotiation. You want to make up your own rules, fine. But don't call it Islam. Don't twist and play with the deen of Allah to make it, fit your whims and your desires. That's not how it works. That's not Islam. That's your own version of events. Islam is what Allah and His Prophet wants. We need to understand, my brothers and sisters, because today is an attack on your aqidah. It's an attack on your faith. Making you doubt and making you question your own faith. Muslims, forget non-Muslims, wallahi Muslims. Yeah, but why? Are you sure? Are you sure, brother? Yeah, but that doesn't seem right. Worse, that doesn't sound fair. Wow, fair? And who made you the measuring stick of fair? Since when were you and I the ones who determine what's fair? Let me share this one ayah in the Quran. And please give me your undivided attention. Please. Wallahi, I ask Allah that the nur of this verse enters your hearts and that you and I both understand that this topic that I've been insisting on is so important for your faith, you have no idea. Allah Azza wa Jalla in Surah An-Nisa, when He was speaking to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and please stay with me. Allah, when He was speaking to Rasulullah in Surah An-Nisa, this is our faith, my brothers. When I say I'm Muslim, then it means I've submitted fully. Not every time something comes up, oh yeah, well, yeah, look, you know what? We all need to sit down and discuss. We need to discuss. What does Allah say in the Quran? Allah speaking to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and who was He surrounded with? Who was the Prophet of Allah surrounded with? He was surrounded by those people whom Allah praised them in the Quran for what quality? What was the quality Allah praised them in the Quran for? قالوا سمعنا وأطعنا. What did the companions say? They say, we hear and we obey. Not we hear and we question. Not we hear and wallah, let me dwell on it for a little bit. Not wallah, yeah, you know what, look, I heard, but let me go back to the boys and see how the area. No. قالوا سمعنا وأطعنا. Allah praised them in the Quran for this quality. They hear, as long as it's authentic, it's from Allah and His Prophet, then it's the absolute truth. We don't question. So Allah speaking to Rasulullah, Surah An-Nisa, Allah says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ. Wallahi, where do I start with this verse, man? Allah, look how Allah starts. Allah starts off the verse, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ. Allah says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Quran, my brothers, Quran. You want to know why this topic is so important tonight? Because this is your deen. This is your aqidah with Allah. This is your faith. Allah says in the Quran, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ. I swear by myself, Ya Rasulullah. لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. These companions, these people will never believe. Their faith will forever be incomplete. Your iman is incomplete. La yu'minuna. Who's speaking? Who? Not some sheikh. These are not my thoughts and my opinions. This is your Allah speaking to you. فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ you ya Rasulullah. حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ. Allah says they will never believe. Their faith will forever be incomplete until they make you, Ya Rasulullah, the judge. Not in some of their affairs, not when they want, not when they pick and choose. Allah says until they make you the judge in all of their affairs. Deen. This is deen. You want Islam? You go outside, wallahi, but people are lost, people are confused. Wallahi, even amongst religious people, wallahi, I don't even know, like where do you draw the line anymore? فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ until they make you the judge, Ya Rasulullah, in. My brothers, this is for you. This is, wallahi, today's talk, today's khutbah. Please don't think about people outside. Think about yourself, bro. Wallahi, this is why we're struggling. Why are our marriages failing? Why? You know why? Because the truth is, Allah and His Prophet are not the judge in all of our affairs. They're the judge in some of our affairs. In the affairs that I like. In the affairs of when it's going to suit me. Are you with me? حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ. Allah says, until they make you, Ya Rasulullah, the judge in all of their affairs. Did Allah finish the verse? Please, wallahi, I beg you. Surah An-Nisa. Go home today, wallah, just read the verse. What an amazing verse. حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِي مَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ until they make you the judge in all of their affairs. ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Not only, Ya Rasulullah, are they to make you the judge in all of their affairs, but they are to find no difficulty, no hardship, no bitterness in whatever your judgment is. Are you with me? When Allah and His Prophet declare a matter, not only are you supposed to take it, no. Allah wants more. Not only are you supposed to take it, But you are supposed to feel no hardship, no bitterness in whatever the verdict is. ثم لا يجد في أنفسهم حرج. There's no haraj. There's no, yeah, all right, but no. If this was the order of Allah and His Prophet, and this is the verdict of Allah and His Prophet, then there is no bitterness. Did Allah finish it there? Who knows how the verse finishes off? Who? Barakallah. Allah says, not only do they have to love the verdict, but we go back to the very beginning of my talk, وَيُسَلِّمُ تَسْلِيمًا. Allah says, not only do they have to make you the judge, not only do they have to accept whatever your verdict is, not only do they have to love your verdict, but they are to submit 50%, 80%. How much, my brothers? Full submission to Allah. This is deen. Allah says in the amazing verse in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهَ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمْ, what is it? مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. Allah says in the Quran, please stay with me, that it is unbefitting. Allah says, it is unbefitting for the believing man and the believing woman that when Allah and His Prophet have declared a matter, that the believing man or woman should have an opinion on the issue. Whose words? The deen of Allah is not a game, my brothers. The deen of Allah is not a conversation, wallah. It's not like the World Cup where we sit down and we speak about this player and that player and this team and that team. The deen of Allah is complete, it's perfected. My job and your job is to submit fully. Wallahi, and please take these words very carefully because I know it's going to open a lot of doors of fitna for some people. I would just rather someone say to me, look, the deen of Allah is perfect, but I'm just weak, I can't do this act of worship. I'm not giving you excuses, but I would rather you say, look, the deen of Allah is perfect, but I just can't do this currently right now, but inshallah I'm working on it, than to twist and play with the deen of Allah so that it suits your whims and your desires. This deen is based on submission, obedience, my brothers.